Oh my goodness, Damon, look at all these people on stage. What on earth is going on here, dude?
I feel like I'm in a party.
Dude, this is a party, man. Thank God it's Monday. Damon, how was your weekend?
It
You
was
all right?
awesome. Awesome.
I'll
Got
tell
some
you,
great walks in.
my next life, I need to come back as Damon Pastulka. I tell you, I don't know anybody has a better life than Damon Pastulka. So, all right. Hey, let's do some introductions here. I'm going to save the man of the hour. We're going to save him for last. But hey, Sammy Joe
Awesome.
Lewis is in the house. But repeat offender, frequent guest here on our little tiny program. Sammy Joe, happy Monday to you.
Thank you, Curt. Happy Monday. I'm happy to be here.
I am so honored, so thrilled. So Sammy Joe comes to us from the great state of Alaska. She's with the Alaska MEP. So Sammy Joe, thank you for being here. We've got a really fun live show coming up on Thursday. We'll talk about that. Hey, right below me, this wonderful, handsome devil. Man, Jason Deering's in the house. Jason, happy Monday, brother. How are you, dude?
Happy Monday, guys. Glad I'm here.
Well, we are glad you're here, too. So let's get to the guest of the hour, man. Damon, you sitting down for this? You ready? Man, this is going to be fast and furious. Samson Shepherd, how are you, brother? Happy Monday.
Good. How about you? How about you, Curt? Did you have a good weekend?
Oh, man, it was so good. We almost had to call 911. It was that good, man. It was like it was this close. I'm just teasing Sammy Joe. It was close though, Damon. It was just a spectacular, wonderful, amazing, beautiful weekend. So, Samson, we're with Arctic Manufacturing. You're up in the great state of Alaska, hanging out in Anchorage. Damon, dude, like we were just there. Weren't we just there like yesterday or maybe a month or so ago? But weren't we just there? Are you on mute now?
Oh, I am. Sorry. Yeah, it's been a while though, but it sounds. Yeah. I haven't done this before, so I'm a little rusty at it. But it feels like yesterday, but it's actually been a while now. It's also been 2 months since we were.
It's been a little while. So, all right, Samson, we're gonna dive right in, dude. Are you ready? Are you?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's get after it.
You rested up all weekend for this because it's not ski. We caught you now because it's not ski season. Because I knew if it's ski season, you
can't do it in wintertime.
Well, training for ski season now. Come on.
Okay, all right. So as soon as you're off the show, you get back to training.
In between training, yeah,
exactly.
Right. Samson, as a guy growing up in Alaska, just majestic, wonderful, amazing, beautiful. Damon, we had such a great time hanging out in Alaska. As a little guy growing up in Alaska, like being this fierce entrepreneur that you are, as a little guy growing up, who was your hero? Who was your hero as a little guy growing up in the great state of Alaska?
For no particular reason, Houdini. I liked Houdini a lot, and I'll stand by that just off the top. So it's probably not going to feed into the entrepreneurial side or the manufacturing side, but he was he's good at what he does, and he's professional, and I appreciated that. A lot of magicians I saw kind of growing up were kind of a joke, and then here's this guy who had some kind of crazy tricks, and he was very professional and serious about it, and it felt more than just a show and more of a kind of people were bought in. So let's go with Houdini.
Dude, that is, first off, phenomenal answer. We have Damon. Yeah. We've never had that.
Never had that one.
And you talk about one of the greatest showmen on earth was Houdini, and pure entrepreneur through and through. I think that is a phenomenal answer, Samson. So thank you very much for that one. So, all right, this show is going to be pure magic. Let's dive in. Okay. So that was a good answer. And you you think about that. And you didn't know that was coming, did you? You didn't know that question was even coming.
No, this is for better, for worse. No.
Man,
that's awesome.
Who would have thought of Houdini? That was, drop the mic on that one. All right. Geez, Sammy Joe, what do you think of that one? What do you think of Houdini? Wasn't that a great answer?
That was a really, really great answer. And one I was not expecting. So
I was not expecting that. So I caught a podcast over the weekend. This guy built, multi-$100 million company, blah, 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 blah. Good for him, right? Mr. Successful. And he said, you know what? Everybody needs to have a little P.T. Barnum and Bailey, the whole showmanship. Yeah. And you just listened to that out over the weekend. And so, this is a perfect example. Everybody needs a little bit of Houdini in them. We've got to stop being the best kept secret. So let's dive in. So Samson, starting in Alaska, I believe Boston University. I saw on your LinkedIn profile, you ended up in Tel Aviv. Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, Boston University had the opportunity to study abroad. It was like a direct study abroad program. So the engineering classes I would have taken at BU, I was able to take, or many people were able to take at a number of different universities. One in Mexico, I think it was Guadalajara, Dresden, Germany. One was Tel Aviv. I did not get into Germany, which was the one I wanted. They were like, "Well, would you be interested in going to Israel?" And I was like, "Of course, why not?" So yeah, I spent 6 months there, and it was probably the best teacher to student ratio that I've ever had. I mean, it was I think 10 of us from the engineering school at BU, and so like one professor for 10 students for electric circuit theory, biology, linear algebra. So absolutely phenomenal experience from educational. And then I'm sure, as you guys are aware or have heard, the best way to kind of learn about a culture and learn about different places, you just live there. And so that was phenomenal to have that opportunity.
Well, man, all right. I want to dig into that. I want to give a couple of shout outs. Hey, Diane Byers here. Diane, happy Monday to you, my friend. John Baglino's in the house. John had a killer weekend. I saw one of his posts. Family was doing great. We've got Jyoti, if I'm saying that correctly. Happy Monday to you, my friend. Guys, let us know that you're here. Connect with our esteemed panel here on stage. Let's go there. So we'll talk a little bit about Tel Aviv. What was that experience like? And like, how did that kind of help shape your entrepreneur journey? Let's go there.
Yeah, I don't know if it helped on the entrepreneurial side right off the bat, but it did. I guess it provided that opportunity to strike out on my own, for lack of a better term, in the sense of I'm there with several other people that I do not know, but you're kind of put into it. You do a language intensive. You get a general feel for kind of reading the the figures of that language. I don't know what that term is. And then you're kind of thrown into it. But I think that is maybe the Alaska card is helpful in going into environments like that, where you're kind of just, a problem comes your way and you got to solve it, or you just kind of keep moving forward, or you roll with the punches. But yeah, in Alaska, you deal with a lot of weird problems all the time. Some of them are fun and good. Others are just weird and hard. And so, being able to take that and go and like apply that in a different country, in a different culture, or not apply it, I think is the better thing to think about, is that I, was able to kind of watch and take in and talk with people and not have a preconceived notion about what was going on, or, how things were laid out, or any of that. I was just there as a completely, like, okay, tell me about what you got going on. And yeah, today, even, that's what I enjoy about manufacturing, especially in Alaska, is it's a small enough industry here that people are really not exposed to it. So I'm able to then, when people are interested and willing and able to listen, I'm able to kind of expose them to that and show them, hey, check out this like crazy machine I have, or like, did you know, like, we can make things like kind of anything you can think of, we can make those things. And so, yeah, just having that open-mindedness and being interested in like, sharing that, I think is helpful. So yeah, maybe that helped with the entrepreneur side. I don't know. It seems like a good enough wing it.
Yeah, great answer. And I tell you, any young folks out there, boy, when you get a chance to go abroad or study abroad, or, just is Samson just really hitting it right on the head. Just what a great way to expand your horizons, broaden, see other cultures. And, whether you get into an entrepreneur, pathway or whatever direction you're going to go, it just couldn't encourage that enough. And it really shapes who you are. And I love that. So now you follow up from Boston University, go to Tel Aviv, then you close things out at Drexel, top university on the East Coast. Let's go there. And like, what really triggered you to go the engineering route? So I want to kind of close things out, and then we're going to dive into your manufacturing journey.
Yeah. So I'm from Alaska. I, as you alluded to, enjoy the outdoors. In Boston, there's not a whole lot of one specific outdoor, which is skiing. There's some in that area, but not that much. And so I started my junior year at Boston University, and frankly was not doing school. I was paying for it. I was going to it, but I was not doing well on tests. I was not doing my homework. And Boston University being a very expensive school, it quickly dawned on me, why am I paying for this thing that I'm not doing? So what did I want to do? I wanted to ski. So I went to Montana. My brother was going to school in Bozeman. Lived in his basement for, I think it was like 4 or 5 months. Had a season pass. It was 20 minutes from my house. Worked at a restaurant. It was great. I could not afford a new set of skis though. And restaurant work, as much as it has been like kind of a good fallback for me, it's not, I can't afford new skis on that budget. And yeah, with that kind of time off, I quickly realized that engineering was of very much interest to me. I enjoyed it a lot. I really enjoyed the learning process. It turns out I really enjoyed, knowing about these kind of like how things are made, how they work, and having that kind of baseline. So I decided to go back to school. And as a transfer student, schools don't care about your grades. They don't care where you came from, who you are. They want your money. And so it's really easy. You go wherever you want. And so I kind of looked around, and I'd been to Philly, I think maybe once, and but I'd seen, I kind of heard some things about Philly, and I really liked the idea of living in Philly, so I applied to Drexel. They also have a co-op program, which I enjoyed the idea of, and in practice I enjoyed as well, which is basically a 6-month to 18-month throughout your 5-year or 4 or 5 years internship program. And so yeah, I attended school there, and it was amazing. I was able to tack on a master's degree, and basically the reason for that was I didn't want to do a senior design project with a team. I wanted to do it on my own, and so I could do that with a master's thesis. And also conveniently, I had a very good advisor who I learned an immense amount from. And then graduated from Drexel, went to California for a year for kind of the dream job. It was the dream job. I was working at a bicycle manufacturing company, making amazing, cool things. But I was living in the Bay Area, and it turns out that they also don't have skiing. Tahoe does, but that's many hours away. So after a stint in the Bay Area, I moved back to Alaska, worked for a couple other companies for, a handful of years, 5, 6, probably a decade. And then started my own business, Arctic Manufacturing Services, in 2020, June of 2020. So we just recently had our 3-year anniversary. We, I, they, all of us had our 3-year anniversary. And yeah, that was kind of brings us up to date here, kind of.
Okay, so much to unpack right there. And
Yep.
I love what you said, it's following your passion. I heard, mentor, you had a great guide, counselor, following your pursuit, understanding what you don't want to do, what you do want to do. I know right on your LinkedIn profile, you have, live to work, not live to work. I have that backwards. Work to live. Don't work to live. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. Work to live, not live to work. Thank you, man. That was really easy for me to say. Man, so good thing
that was awesome. That was awesome.
This is live. So anyway, as we kind of unpack all that, West Coast, all over the place, skiing is really the common thread of where you're pursuing your passion. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So, and you, Damon. So let's go here. We had the honor, privilege of getting a tour of Samson's facility, Arctic Manufacturing in Anchorage. What was your perspective? Like, dude, I had a heck of a time getting you out of that place. It was like you were just so blown away by it. What was your takeaway of touring Samson's facility?
Well, I mean, it's really cool what you set up, to be able to help people. They've got ideas, turn their ideas into reality, and you've got the technology and the equipment to do it. And then to watch how you've taken some of the latest technology with your new machine there and really taking the manufacturing part of the production stuff that you're doing to a whole different level. It's so cool. So cool.
No, I one of the things that I have kind of come across is that as a small business owner, you don't have to have 1,000 customers. I don't have to have 1,000 customers. Some people do. I don't have to make $1 million. For better or for worse, skiing's relatively cheap. It's not that cheap, but it's relatively. So I can, keep my operation somewhat small and sustain myself, sustain, kind of some mentoring programs, some, good outreach, things like that. But really, if I can improve my internal processes and really refine things and kind of basically become more efficient internally, selfishly, that allows me more time to ski. So,
Well,
or work out for skiing this time of year.
Yeah, exactly.
And work out for skiing this time of year. And I love that how you have your priorities, just, great, man, just great head on your shoulders. So let's go here. So I'm going to pull in Sammy Joe. So Sammy Joe, you're with the Alaska MEP, and we're going to tie in your relationship here with Samson. Samson, I want to dig into what your scope and your relationship here. Sammy Joe, can you please describe to folks who and what is the MEP network? Who is the Alaska MEP?
Thanks, Curt. So the Alaska MEP is part of a national network of MEPs. There's an MEP in all 50 states, including Puerto Rico, and we are here solely to provide resources to manufacturers in our state and work to advance the manufacturing sector in Alaska.
Perfect. Thank you. And as you said, Damon, we have the honor and privilege. We interview all sorts of folks from different MEP networks. Great resource, incredible, set of the talent, the skill set, folks like Sammy Joe. And I think there's 1,300 strong that work nationwide at the MEP network. Samson, how did the Alaska MEP come on your radar?
So the world of manufacturing in Alaska is very small. So I started a manufacturing company and very quickly found, a previous company I had worked with, I think you all did a PPE project with Dallenbach. And I think that might have actually been kind of the first, that was even before I worked with you all. That was kind of okay, I've heard of Alaska Manufacturing Extension Partnership. But yeah, then I started a manufacturing company and saw what they were doing and was like, okay, this makes obvious sense to reach out with them. And so I would say that our relationship is also 3 years strong. And yeah, it has been, I guess one of the things that I have enjoyed most about it is that not everything is fitted for me, but they keep having things. And that is the best part, right? So, just because I don't like apples doesn't mean the grocery store shouldn't also offer me oranges and pears and bananas and chips maybe. And so that's been really cool and fun to watch MEP kind of expand their partnerships and expand their offerings and things like that. And yeah, I think that the most exciting thing is when I see other people use those opportunities. It's one thing for me personally in my company to be able to take advantage of that. But when I see someone that I was like, oh, wait, you guys also awesome. What, small world. So yeah, that has been kind of my introduction with them. And then over the years, things have grown here with, what they have helped me with, how I've been able to help them even. And so I would say that it's, become a really nice symbiotic relationship with, kind of continuing that small Alaska manufacturing community aspect where, we can't help each other with everything, but it is awesome to know that I can reach out to them with a question or they can ask me something. And it's very easy. No red tape. It's very nice.
And lots of awesomeness, just wonderful people, right? And Sammy Joe, let's how cool is it? When Damon and I we come up and you get to do this on a daily basis, but just talk a little bit about some of the incredible inspirational stories like Samson here. A lot of the other folks that we know, we could list off all sorts of folks, Stacy, Don, Daisy. Just share some of the exciting things that you see from your perspective of what's going on in manufacturing in Alaska.
Yeah, no, super excited to have you guys up and visiting. I think that there's manufacturing in Alaska is small on the smaller end, but it is growing, and there's a lot of different neat manufacturers in the state. And I think it's really just creating that awareness and getting people to really resonate that they are manufacturers and they're not just making beer or making kombucha or beading or making clothing. There's so many different facets or even different furniture pieces, and maybe they're redoing them and that sort of thing. There's so many different facets of manufacturing in the state, and it's really just creating that awareness. I know I've really enjoyed getting to know Samson. I love that he said it really has been a collaboration. As he said, he got started about 3 years ago. the Alaska MEP. Alyssa got that started in 2019. Samson got started in 2020. So we were really able to just kind of like build and grow this relationship together. So I appreciate it when he said collaboration, because it's really been a lot of give and take. As he was new, we were also new. So how can we really help each other and be there for the manufacturers in the state? So.
Well, I love it. And you started right before, I believe you started early 2020, right, Sammy Jo?
I did. Yep. Alyssa brought me on in early 2020 as her first employee. So. Yes.
Yeah. So the first employee, and Samson, you started the business just because of Sammy Jo. Like she needed something to do, right? She needed.
Yeah. Alyssa was like, I've got this amazing new employee. I heard that you're just like looking to burn time. Please.
Yeah.
Start a business.
She was like, hey, in between skiing, could you just start a business so I have something for Sammy Jo, right? That was exactly how it went down, of course. Yeah. But Samson, let's go here. So you are so your business, Arctic Manufacturing, is a COVID baby, right? June of 20. And you're sitting around like, hey, let's get things started. Let's go here. So, brilliant engineer. Talk about, you could have worked for many different companies. Hey, I'm an employee. I'm going to do my gig. You could be a hired gun. It really would fit your skiing passion very well. What flipped the script? What changed? Was there an aha moment where you're like, you know what? I'm throwing my name on the door. I want to go down this entrepreneurial route. What was that transition like?
So I guess, I left one job and had the opportunity to look for work. I looked for work, did not really see a whole lot of opportunities that I wanted. Basically, I like manufacturing, and I wanted to stay in that realm. There's not a whole lot of it in Alaska. Neither is a whole lot of it that, frankly, can afford me. I'm a stamped mechanical engineer in Alaska that makes good money. Manufacturing as a manufacturing world, not as like a stamping engineer, does not make amazing money. So I decided to kind of try it doing it on my own. And what I was doing first was just offering engineering services out of my house. So that's very low overhead. I've got insurance, some licensing, software, things like that. But that allowed me to build capital. And that winter, I bought a pair of Nordic ice skates. And as any self-respecting engineer did, I immediately took them apart and made a 3D model of them. And quickly figured out that, like, oh, I can make these, or like, these are not actually that complicated. And then kind of with a little bit of like project management and like estimating and kind of just, job project managing experience, I was like, okay, well, how do I get this made, like, or source the individual parts? So people give quotes for free. It does not cost anything to get a quote. In fact, it is a good thing for companies to fill the sales funnel. And so, I kind of had this idea, okay, well, this is actually a reliable thing that I can make, and it's affordable. And I was able to kind of leapfrog that engineering services, that low overhead and building the capital, moved into commercial space, bought a machine to make these Nordic ice skates. I don't want to say I've grown a whole lot since then, but things have sustained themselves, which has been really amazing.
Right. And Damon, when we were there, we got the honor and privilege of seeing some of these products. So, let's go there, Samson. So, you're the avid outdoorsman, just, diehard skier, and you're kind of staying in that realm. Can you, you mentioned the skates rather. Can you talk a little bit, like, what are some of the products that you're really focusing on?
Yeah, so I have found that it's very easy for me to be passionate about things that I'm passionate about. And that is helpful when I make a product. If it is if it's something that is not exciting to me, I'm going to drag you into this, Jason, right now. I owe Jason content for an amazing website he's produced for me, but that is like so difficult for me to do. What I'd rather do is make things. And so, it's been easy for me to kind of ramp those things up. And so, in short, this is a Nordic ice skate. And the general idea is that a cross-country ski boot attaches to it.
Nice.
So this is kind of the first widget that I came out with, and I put it in the kind of spectrum of like, outdoor equipment or outdoor recreation. Right. That's what I'm passionate about. And so as I pursue projects and products in that industry, I have been able to be excited about those products and products. It's been very easy for me to pursue those things. And so, I would say that that's for my kind of internal, widgets to sell is the outdoor recreation world. And then, outside that, if I can support other manufacturers in the Anchorage Bowl or job shop work from a machine shop, that's kind of the other big, piece of revenue that I search out.
Was it so Damon, we state of the art equipment,
like
Samson has a wonderful, amazing, brand new piece of machinery, has another piece of machinery, again, small shop. Samson, let's put ourselves in, say there's an entrepreneur or say there's an employee out there and they're kind of like, man, this is really my jam. I'm really enjoying hearing what you're saying here, Samson. Was it tough making that transition from working out of your house to making that plunge? You're going all in. We're hey, if the engineering thing doesn't work, I can I can go somewhere else. But once you start buying equipment and overhead and we were there. How was that? Was it scary or not? What was that transition like for a potential budding entrepreneur out there?
Yeah, definitely. 100% scary. Every decision I make, I feel like I've made it too early. I moved into commercial space. I don't know. I tell myself 6 months before I should have. But how do I sell manufacturing services without a shop, right? So I think that I am also very lucky and have, I'm from Alaska, so I have a very strong support network here. Yeah. My family and friends are all very supportive, encouraging. I have amazing parents that are active and supportive. So if I burn everything down and fail, I can go live in their basement. I am a very lucky person in regards to that support network. And so I think, it's also that I realize I have that, and that is helpful. And so I think as, budding entrepreneurs, don't keep your head down, pick your head up, look around, look at the people that are, being appreciative of you and realize that, I have support here. And oftentimes it's the emotional support that is most important, because I can make the money thing work. I can, not that I'm going to find money or all of a sudden I get $1 million contract, but if I don't believe in myself, I'm never going to be successful, right? I need to be confident that okay, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to have a problem, but no, I think I can overcome that problem. Versus the just viewing it as a monetary thing that is very important to me. I'm very fussy in particular about my books, but the idea of running the business in that manner of growth oriented or, just try and push out as much revenue as I possibly can. I want to be happy and content. And my birthday was this month, and one of the things that I ask myself every year is, would 6-year-old Sam be happy with where I am? And I'd be fucking stoked. Look at this cool equipment I have. And so that is that's awesome to be able to realize that and to feel that way about my business, right? And I think that's the important part about entrepreneurship, is that because I'm passionate about my business, all of you are excited about my business. Other people are excited to learn more about my business. And so I think that can be very helpful and important, is that kind of infectious nature of passion or excitement in general, right?
It's key. It's key to it. And I think it's so great to realize you've got this support network and feel that behind you. And then the way that you show your passion and enthusiasm for manufacturing, it's infectious, dude. And just great to be around you. And I just got to laugh because Kevin Thompson put a comment in here that's so funny. If it all fails, you can live in a van down by the river.
No, so speaking of so the name of the program today, guys, Manufacturing Greatness in Alaska. Boy, go back and catch our interview with Kevin Thompson. We were actually in the Alaska MEP office for that. He's doing some great things in the great state of Alaska. Hey, Damon, we've got Whitney here in the house, but you know what? Multiple drop the mic moments there, Samson. So I want to recap a couple of things, dude. I love the inspiration, and guys, he hit it on the head. It's almost like a what do I have to lose mentality, Samson. And what would my 6-year-old self say today? That was a total drop the mic right there. Go out there and just unlock your potential. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm getting chills, Damon. This is so good. So let's go. All right. You talked about your 6-year-old self. You talked about, we've got so much unpack here. Having that enthusiasm. And if you don't believe in yourself, who is? If you don't believe in yourself, who is? So speaking of like someone I believe in deeply, here Damon is this handsome young man right below me, Jason Deering. Jason, you came in, you got to know Samson. You guys have been good friends working on a project together. What's your assessment of Arctic manufacturing and just this relentless drive that Samson has? What's your perspective?
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, it was a project that's coming in, it's, at first it's just another manufacturer. But then when you start talking to someone like Samson, there's a lot of instances where it was similar concepts. You pick on me all the time saying that I need a money psychologist because, that's my whole, I don't need to be a millionaire. I just need everything to be taken care of. And I get all my wants, all my needs, or not all my wants. I get all my needs taken care of. Right. And as long as I can do that and have a little, play money to play with my kids and everything else, that's why we are. And that's, Samson, we had a couple conversations like that. It's just getting to know him. It's very similar kind of mindsets. And so that always makes projects like this much more enjoyable. Right. And I see him and, I started, what is it now? Almost 15 years ago, 14 years ago, whatever it is. And going through some of the same type of steps and all that kind of thing. And it's just, and he's on the other side of the country. Right. So it's nice to see someone like him has that, that entrepreneurial mindset and that want to, and I'm a coach and I love that want to. And when people show that want to, it's like, I want to be friends with you. I want to help you. You can help me. Let's do it. Let's get you to where you need. And so like Arctic is one of those great examples for me of a project that I truly enjoyed.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. That was awesome. And again, from a coach perspective, I love that. It's, what I want to, and just coming, it's just aligning yourself with people, Damon, we always hear like our buddy, Greg Mishu always says that no, like, trust, trust, and Samson, that's the thing is like, you kind of, you have that mindset of like, hey, this is who I am, right? Take it or leave it. If it's a Friday afternoon, if it's a Friday afternoon, they're skiing, snow on the slopes, man, you're not going to find me. Right. So, where did you find, where was this foundation from of just kind of like being yourself and just that drive? Where does that come from?
I'm sure there's all kinds of psychoanalysis. I'm the youngest child. Like all my siblings are 2 years apart and I'm 4. I don't know. Let's go with Alaska. It's a place where you are kind of raised and you can do, you could be in your house and do, kind of city things for your entire life, or you can walk 100 yards and you're going to run into a moose. So it does not take very far here to kind of be pushed outside your comfort zone, your elements. And I mean, that's a reason that I absolutely love it here. But being raised in that atmosphere and around a community like that, I think kind of helps encourage, kind of like, okay, yeah, I can figure that out. Like, I don't know anything about fixing a tire, but like, I'm stuck here and I need to figure this out. And so if someone helps me, I'm going to make sure that I know after they're done how to do it. Or, I'm going to make sure that I hook them up with some meat or something so that they do it again. That's right. And so I think part of it is, being raised in Alaska and then again, having supportive family that maybe could have encouraged me in some other, or in some, I guess, provided more encouragement. That seems to be a common trait of parents or parents of my age, is that they, I enjoy the like, compliments and being, things like make me feel good, right? The appreciation. And so I think that they, did a good job of providing me a good environment to experiment and to, like, oh yeah, you want to use the tools, like go use the hammer and the saw, like if you want instructions, you can ask. And if I break it, then that's never good. But yeah. So I don't know. I think, between my parents and then kind of the little bit of an oddity that Alaska is, just, it's a place of extremes.
Perfect. All right. So let's go. Let's hit on that, because I think there's an important point right here. And again, Kevin, thank you for your
Kevin. Yeah, I should do hard things.
I love that.
That just kind of hit what you said. So
I want to hit on the Alaska thing for a minute, Samson, because a lot of times it's like whether it's scarcity mindset or instead of the can do attitude, it's the I can't do that because I'm in Alaska. I can't do that because everything's against me. I can't do that because of my upbringing. I don't have the right degree. I don't have the right this. I don't have the right that. You've defied so many things. And again, you intentionally went to Alaska. And so for other folks that are like, man, I would love to start my entrepreneurial journey. However, I have the but excuses. I don't have this. I don't have enough money. I don't have whatever. You chose to do manufacturing in Alaska. Let's go there for a little bit. You're defying, excuses. What advice do you have for folks of that are, kind of have that list of excuses, or, can you hit on that for a minute?
Yeah, I got a real easy one for you. It's called a decision matrix. And you put everything into it. And on one side, you have usually on the top, you have your concepts or your ideas. So that could be leave my job, stay in my job, start a business of my own, move to Peru. And then on the side, you have all of your needs. So, I need to afford to live. I need to have fun. And then you assign a numerical value, and out the other end comes a very, very objective decision. And then your decision's made. So, did I apply that to my own decision-making process? Yeah, definitely. Did I look at my surroundings and say, okay, what do I want to do? What do I enjoy doing? Yes. And then did I also look at okay, I want to make money. I don't want to compete with a shit ton of people. I want to provide a service that is a niche or is not as satisfied as it could be. And did I do an actual chart? Maybe I did. And so that's, I as an engineer and as someone that is trained in a product development strategy, that is a very common product development kind of conclusionary item, as well as for, just kind of scientific method almost. The idea of propose a hypothesis, analyze it, experiment, test, and of course repeat as many times as you can. But don't allow it to be a subjective or emotional decision, which is very, very hard to do. But if you can set yourself up to remove that emotional side by using things like decision matrices, or by separating your wants from your needs, just as Jason alluded to, that is very, very helpful just to kind of clear your mind and have a better idea of how to move forward.
Man, I absolutely love that. Go ahead, Damon.
No, that's awesome, dude. Because it is, we clutter our minds with so much junk, and you just gave a master class there in about a minute and a half of just, hey, clear the junk out, make the decision, quit worrying about excuses, do what's right.
No, that's fantastic. Sammy Joe, I'm going to pull you back on stage here. We've talked about this many times, some companies in Alaska, trying to get some momentum. It's difficult, trying to go back and forth transportation wise, especially manufacturing, with goods, natural resources, raw materials, getting from the lower 48. What are some of the challenges that you see, or how do you at the Alaska MEP, how do you help some of these manufacturers overcome these challenges to just say hey man, this is a great place to do manufacturing? What are some of the advice that you have for manufacturers just starting out in Alaska?
No, absolutely. I think that, as you mentioned, Alaska does have obviously its unique challenges, and it definitely makes it a little bit harder for just different challenges when you're trying to start up and be an entrepreneur. I think supply chain is a huge one, just because we're so far and just getting the goods and the products that we need. Through the MEP network, there is a supplier scouting opportunity that we use a lot. And so we can have manufacturers come to us and need product, or maybe they're looking to switch suppliers or see if there's better prices out there. We can funnel that through our supplier scouting form. that form gets sent out to all the MEP centers, so all 50 states in Puerto Rico, and then they can get that request. They can look over and see if they know of suppliers, and then we can basically generate a list that then gets sent off to the manufacturer with just at least more opportunities. And so I think that something that we really try to do is work as a one-stop shop to caters to manufacturers' needs. And so the advice I would have for entrepreneurs getting started is to reach out and ask for help and ask for support. I think a lot of times we get in the mindset, especially Samson knows, I'm also born and raised in Alaska. The Alaska mindset is like, oh, I can just like do it myself. I've got this, I don't. And a lot of the times you really do need help. And so I'm not saying that we have the answers for everything. We absolutely don't, but we are well positioned within the university and SVDC. And if they just can reach out and ask questions, we can at least try to find the answer for them or solution for them, or get them connected to someone to get them the right answer. So definitely reach out and ask for help, because we want to be a resource to manufacturers, and we'd love more entrepreneurs to get started in Alaska.
Sammy Joe, drop the mic right there, my friend. Damon, how about that? How about, we went out to dinner with Sammy Joe, her beautiful, amazing daughter, and she took us to this wonderful restaurant, and they had all sorts of like great sayings around, like there were supposed to be dozens, right? Dozens. And it really just sparks exactly what you're saying. When you live in Alaska, you're going to be resourceful. You're going to just figure it out. You have that can-do attitude because you just don't have a choice. And man, I'll tell you, the resiliency, just the relentlessness in Alaska. Damon, what do you think?
Yeah, and I think there is quite a balance between figuring who, not how sometimes, right? Because we can get stuck in this do loop of how am I going to figure this? How am I going to figure this out? Yeah. And as you said, Samson and Sammy Joe, it's reaching out when it's appropriate. Yeah. Because sometimes trying to figure out how is way more time consuming than finding who can help me. And that it's in their sweet spot. They can get it done better. They can do it way better than you ever could. Right. And you can do more of what you really are good at and get farther faster together.
Right. Awesome. All right, let's go here. So Samson, moving forward for 2023, goals, aspirations, where are we going to see Arctic manufacturing? I know skiing's a top priority. You've got some really cool products. You got a brand new piece of machinery. What's going on for 23, rest of the year here in your world?
I'm going on a work retreat to Indonesia.
Nice. Rock and roll.
I got a very large engineering contract. There's like 1,800 hours of engineering. So that's all, from a computer anywhere in the world, which is amazing. So I have found that it is very helpful for me to basically set some time aside each year to reflect internally on the company, on where I'm going, revisit my business plan. I know doing it every year is mind-numbing, but the idea of just take some time I don't work on customers' work. I work on my own stuff internally. So that's going to be what I do in Indonesia there is kind of, make sure that I'm on the right track. And if there's a new widget that I come up with, that'd be amazing. If I spend the entire time, refining an existing process, that's fine. I think that there's a lot of value, or I have found a lot of value in that. Just I have, as a small business owner, separating business and home is hard. And so, I'm working, and I'm trying to make money, trying to make sure that, I can pay my bills and all those things. And oftentimes, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I was going to make a sign for my building. And then 4 years later, you still don't have a website. That would be another thing I'm really excited about is for Jason and I to put the finishing touches on the website that the MEP has very immensely helped kind of facilitate the launch of, and then Jason has created. Getting that rolled out. And then ramping production back up here in September, August time to start making a bunch of Nordic skates. And I don't know, hopefully help some people make some stuff.
Wow. Damon, consistent, Kevin's here today, the wisdom, and when I say maturity, I want to say like seasonedness, if that's a right word.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
yeah, we don't want to go with like actual maturity.
Yeah,
I ate cereal for breakfast or for dinner last night. So
yeah, other than Sammy Joe, there's really nobody mature on stage here today. But Sammy Joe, you're hands down the most mature person here. But when I say, just the man, I just wish I had your acumen when I was 20s, 30s. It's just like I'm just blown away. A couple of great takeaways here. Working on your business instead of always in your business, knowing your gaps, knowing your blind spots, and taking time for yourself. And to go to Indonesia, man, I feel this is absolutely awesome. Hey, Diane here says websites and e-commerce. So let's start winding down. And Kevin, I'm assuming you're saying with maturity, Kevin, you're right there with us, brother. But Kevin was like just completely blown us away. Here we have a war hero, veteran, and just taking a deep dive, or just giving an entrepreneurial masterclass. Samson, you're doing the exact same thing here right now. This is just a pure masterclass on entrepreneurship. So let's go here. Your experience with the Alaska MEP, with our dear friend Sammy Joe, this wonderful handsome devil, Jason. Would you suggest, advise, recommend to your family, your friends, to your dog, the wonderful people of the Alaska MEP? What's your experience there?
Yes, all of the above. Minus my dog. He's pretty needy. I mean, he's kind of Velcro-y, so they might have to have another employee. Which, I mean, from the sounds of it, MEP's got at least 2 more in the works. So, but yeah, no, I would wholeheartedly endorse reaching out to them, working with them. I mean, I don't mean to maybe it's just because my business is special for some reason, but most of it's free. It's very inexpensive, if not free, to be involved or ask them or to reach out for help with them. And yeah, I would say, just as Damon alluded to, that idea of they are an amazing resource of other connections, right? So, there's no reason that I should figure out from a 0 point of how do I do cardboard boxes for a product? I'm going to ask MEP about that. And they're going to be like, okay, we don't know, but this company does, and this company does, or maybe they do know, or maybe they have somebody that can help design it or whatever. And so, reach out to them. When I started out, it was I think it was just on a bare sense of hey, I'm starting a manufacturing business.
Right.
That was it. I don't think I had an ask or a give. And I don't think you need one, right? I mean, that's the, been one of the themes of this has been that kind of, just ask, just reach out. It does not hurt to ask a company, how much does it cost to make this thing? If you have an idea and it's just a napkin sketch, just ask, because if you don't, you won't know. And so, I think, if you have questions about manufacturing, if you have questions about, I would even go small business entrepreneurial questions. I think the MEP has done a really good job of, helping provide perspective on that kind of thing. But it's easy to be involved. Do it.
Just raise your hand and ask, right? Say, hey, how about how about this right here, David? How about Sammy Joe? Three cheers, MEP. So maybe we'll get a little MEP chant going, right? MEP, MEP. And Kevin, our dear friend, says, "I love these guys. Can't wait to work with them." So Kevin, appreciate your shout out, and we agree with you wholeheartedly. And no matter what state you're coming to us from, there is an MEP rate in your backyard. So guys, again, you're an entrepreneur, particularly a manufacturer. Reach out. Sammy Joe mentioned SBDCs for non-manufacturers. That's a small business development centers. MEPs, manufacturing extension partnerships for our manufacturers. And Damon, we talk about this all the time, man. Entrepreneurship, it gets a little lonely at times.
Yes, it does.
You don't need to be alone. And like Samson just said, and Diane says right here, man, hey, just ask. The answer is always no, unless you ask. The answer is always no. So, all right, let's start winding down here. Samson, how about this? Any young folks out there, kids in high school, college, why are all the cool kids going into manufacturing? Can you please, I don't know anybody. Damon, Samson might be one of the coolest dudes that I know. And I'm very.
I made this. I don't know. Do you need another reason? Hey, what did you make?
I love it.
Hey, show it one more time. Let's see that one more time. Let's see. Just show that thing, man. Look at that. Man. Look at that thing. Man.
Yeah.
I think manufacturing is I mean, for me, I got a degree in engineering. It has been an amazing backup. That is how I treat it. I make things for a living. That's what I enjoy most doing. And I think that is kind of, I don't want to say it needs to be the draw, but I think that helps a lot. Is if you like or enjoy making things, then yeah, look at manufacturing. And then I think, just as Sammy Joe alluded to, manufacturing is not just CNC machines. It's not just drill presses and sheet forming equipment. It is packaging equipment. It is medical devices. It is the cardboard boxes itself. There's an entire food industry. It's an immense industry, and I am a strong proponent of re-onshoring, or the idea of kind of making more things in or I guess closer to where I live. I don't really care about the country, to be honest. What I care about is like, why am I going to pay somebody 5,000 miles away to make something when someone who I buy coffee from can also make it for me, or whatever. The idea of like, I spend my money locally, it goes a little bit further. And with manufacturing, I feel like that is becoming a lot easier to do, and I think that is a common thread, particularly in America right now, is the idea of, hey, actually, I am maybe interested or able to spend 1 or 10% more on a product so that I can know who made it and support them, right? I am making more purchasing decisions off of the individual or the entity that I'm supporting than, that's a lie, is basically quality or like product functionality, and then it starts to go into the where it comes from or how it was made. But I think people are interested in that, and then with manufacturing, I think that will continue to grow, and that will continue to be an industry that is supported by that kind of general conversation of, hey, let's make things closer to where we are.
Right. Well, I absolutely love it. Hey, Paula, happy Monday, Paula. Just don't have a good idea, make it happen. I know, hey, that was Nicole Donnelly's dad's line right there, right? Nicole's dad always said that, make it happen. So, we could chat all day. Let's start winding down here. Jason, let's go to you. Closing thoughts, words of wisdom, anything that you want to share from your perspective.
I love the concepts or the conversation that we're going, just make it happen, right? You have something in your head, just go get it done, go to university, go to Israel, do all kinds of different things to, shape yourself as a young entrepreneur. And then, you have an idea, just go get it done, go ask for the help. If you want it, you can get it. You don't have, nothing has to stop you. You can deal with anything. And it's just, you put it in your head, you go figure it out. There's tons of help everywhere. Go get it done.
Get it done. Get her done. So Sammy Joe, your words of wisdom, closing thoughts. What did you think of this little jam set? Was this amazing or what?
No, this was amazing. Thank you so much for having me on, Curt and Damon and Samson. It's always a joy to be able to connect with you and talk with you more. So I really loved this. Thank you so much, Curt.
Well, thank you for all that you guys do at the Alaska MEP, helping manufacturers. And so again, our hats off to you. We salute you, applaud you. Man, we have a fun live session planned on this Thursday. We're doing a little video marketing jam session together.
There you go.
Damon, closing thoughts, your words of wisdom. Again, we if you guys didn't catch it earlier, Damon and I were on site at Samson's, got a wonderful tour. Yeah. Damon, what are your closing thoughts?
Well, I'm going to agree with Samson here, man. The reason people go into manufacturing, if you like to make stuff, everything has to be made, right? The computer screens we're talking into, the furniture around us, the cars we drive, everything there, the whatever it is, it has to be made somewhere. And there are people that are doing it every day. And this is not just engineers. This is accountants, and this is people that want to work with their hands, that want to learn how to weld, or they want to learn how to bend metal or paint or whatever the heck they want to, or put stuff together. Right. Manufacturing is so cool because you don't know what's being made down the street from you. And this is literally, you don't know. what it is. And it could be some of the coolest stuff ever. I mean, like Samson and his Nordic skates. It's like, they're cool as heck. You drive up to the place and you go, oh yeah. And then you go, that's really cool what you're making there. That's what manufacturing is about. I think people just need to realize that.
It's not the dark and dirty. It's not grandpa's manufacturing anymore, man. So Samson, take us home, brother. Parting thoughts. Where can folks connect with you? What's your last words of wisdom for our crowd today?
I don't know. Make stuff.
There you go. Make stuff.
Drop the mic.
I had an intern, and my question for him was, or one of my questions was, what's something that you've broken recently? And he really struggled with that. But I think that, ask yourself what's something you've broken recently, what's something you've made, and is 6-year-old happy with you? I don't know.
6-year-old, you know what? Dude, that's a moment of silence. As a matter of fact, we're just going to close it out with that one right there, man. Just, 6-year-old you happy with you. So, man, if you, Damon, I didn't expect this to be so inspirational, but hey, Diane, Paula, Kevin, everybody out there,
so
that's great. Diane's, make stuff, love it. So Whitney, Houston, everybody out there today, thank you for joining us.
John.
Please connect with your local MEP wherever you're at. Boy, check out Samson's new website, done by the one and only Jason Deering. He is a website guru. Just can't wait to get that thing launched. So, guys, thank you for joining us today. We're going to close out. Team on stage, hang out with us for 1 second. Damon, we've got Kelly Robinson this Friday, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Learn about recruiting top talent for retention.
That's right. So, all right, guys, manufacturing greatness in the great state of Alaska. We're closing out for today. And just like we like to share, just like Samson, be someone's inspiration, man. Just be someone's inspiration. Hey, Jowdy says thank you. Thank you for joining us today, guys. We're going to close it out. God bless you. We will see you soon.